So the planning phase for the World Questions, King's Answers campaign has been quite long. I think it was probably longer than you would expect a campaign to be, and there were a number of reasons for that. It started really as soon as the last campaign finished. So there was the campaign for Kings, and that finished at the end of 2004. Which is when I joined King's, and almost immediately that I joined, the Vice-Chancellor said, right, we want to be planning for the next campaign. So the planning started as the closed party was happening for the previous campaign. We spent probably 2005 and 2006 really getting our head around what the proposition was, and to do that we needed to do some analysis on the previous campaign. So the previous campaign, as the name suggests, the campaign for Kings, was very much driven by people wanting to give back to their alma mater. So the ask was, we gave you a great education, now give us some of your money to say thank you. What we found in the analysis was that although they were the messages we were sending out, the largest gifts were coming from non-alumni who were being driven by the research that we do and the impact that has on people. So we needed to understand a bit about the messages that we needed to give out in the next campaign. We then started in, I guess, 2006, 2007 to be really bringing together the core group of people that would need to understand the campaign if it was going to work. So we started to look at recruiting members of our volunteer board, and we were very successful in attracting people to the board. It took a lot longer to identify a good chair. In fact, we didn't identify Sir John Major, who is the current chair, until 2010. So it tells you there was a long period of time where we weren't quite finding someone who we felt had the credibility to lead what was a very impressive board. So that took a while. And then we really were looking at the institution and its kind of preparedness really to launch a campaign. So that was about percentage of staff that we're giving, understanding the leadership and the amount of time that the Vice-Chancellor, principal in our case, and the senior team would need to spend on fundraising. It took me an extraordinarily long time to negotiate the budget that we were going to need for the team if we were going to raise the sorts of money I knew that we had the ambition to raise, and that probably took 18 months longer than I thought it was going to take, so that took a long time. So all in all, the private phase of the campaign, so we started silently counting money in 2006. We publicly launched the World Questions, King's Answers campaign in November last year, so November 2010, and when we launched we had 200 million in the bank. It's a 500 million pounds campaign. It's now several months after that, coming up for a year. By the time we get to the year anniversary we'll be well over 260 million, so we're making progress, but there's still some way to go. So the planning phase you could define it as long as 2004 through till potentially the public launch in 2010. So it was a very long time for us, but I think that was right because it meant that by the time we did launch we were in very good shape.